about $10,000, what can you do on a drag strip with this vehicle? Behind me are a couple of Supras, and if you look at them right now, these two cars were the pace cars that we used for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And because of the previous generation Supra, the 2JZ, those cars were making over 1,000 horsepower by the time the aftermarket was done with them. So there was crazy anticipation when it was announced that there was going to be a new Supra available. The cars have been out now for a few years, and the aftermarket's really gotten their arms around it. Then the motorsports marketing department decided, well, instead of retiring them, we're going to more of a drag setup. You're spending about $10,000 to get into the 10-second range in the quarter mile. But when we're talking about adding 30 to 40% more horsepower, we want to make sure we have more cooling. So that became one of the focuses. This radiator is probably 40 to 50% bigger than the stock one. For right now, what we're doing is taking a stock turbo, making it about 20 to 30% bigger, and then telling the engine management system to put more fuel and more air into it, and we can create a bigger spark, which will give us more horsepower. And then from there, the sky's the limit.
So this is the intercooler for the turbo. This helps keep the turbo cool as it's spooling up, so the radiator has a little bit more time to cool things. Now we're moving on to the front suspension, which is provided to us from HKS. Pretty awesome kit that just kind of sleeves over with a new spring perch and then a new spring. So on the rear suspension, we're also using HKS. They did have us cut down the little bump stop that's inside the shock absorber just because we're lowering the car a little bit. And then we're also using the HKS springs, and then also the spring perch as well, which goes into the stock configuration of the stock spring. So everything's pretty much direct fit. Here's our new downpipe, and then it actually goes to, which is I believe 3-inch, and then it goes to a 3.5-inch exhaust. Having the exhaust this big, it definitely helps the car breathe as far as you're getting exhaust out, because we're trying to pump as much air in. So we need that air to be able to escape as fast as it can, so we can continuously put in more and more air. So we're building a belt bar for the rear. It's definitely going to be stronger than what is stock in there, because those were aluminum tubes, and so it's all going to basically be steel now.
Slap your Weld racing wheels and your Mickey Thompsons on it, go down the track at 10, 10.5, and we're gonna see if we can do it. The first thing obviously is gonna be, we are ready today to actually test one of the cars for the first time. And that's gonna be on our little check road that we have here at the Toyota facility, under a 1/10 of a mile. And if you can watch the speedometer so that when you get to 80, back off, then I'll be able to hear how long it took you to get to 80. Unfortunately, we have to shut it off at 80 miles per hour, but it'll also let us know, if I know where he started and I know when he backs out of it, I know how far it took to get to 80 miles per hour. Wow, way back here.
So it seems like everything we put on is working quite well. It feels pretty stable.
Look at a squat.
So far it feels very, very lively and very quick.
Blew my eardrums out.
Yeah, did you say something? Our goal for stage one of this project is to show that if you own a Supra and you want to race it, you're going to be faster than 85% of the other cars out there. The next level will be do the other car. Continue to make these things as twins as possible. First, we're going to try and get as much as we can out of the car. And then the next set of tuning will be to make sure that they are doing the same thing at the same time. For about 10,000 bucks, you can take a 3-year-old car and make it a competitive race car on the track.